This conference will now be recorded.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, able to hear.
Cool. Can everyone acknowledge, guys, in the chat window if you can hear me?
Yeah, I can able to hear.
Thanks, Tyagarajalu, for the acknowledgements. Others? Cool. A very good morning and good evening, guys. Welcome to our course. So, how many of you are part of Sunday's demo? How many of you have attended Sunday's demo? Okay, Rahana attended. I remember you, Rahana. Tyagarajalu attended 2 months back. Then it's not me. Sushma attended. Okay. Okay, Jyoti, no. Fine, guys. I mean, let's start the usual way. Let me introduce myself first, and then no, we'll jump onto the session. Okay. So there are a few rules in my batches, guys. Okay, which we will have to follow, right? So first things first, I don't want any one of you to be serious, okay? So when you are learning something, enjoy the process. So you don't need to be so serious to learn something new, okay? So sit back, relax, and enjoy the sessions. And whenever you have questions, just stop me, ask questions, make yourself clear, and then we will move on to the next topics, okay? So that's how it's going to be. And the
Sure.
second rule, acknowledging. Okay, so try to refrain from unmuting yourself as much as possible. The reason being the session is being recorded. So try to interact with me using chat window as much as possible. So when I say use chat window for acknowledgements, especially yes, no, maybe acknowledgements, right? But when you have a question, if it is, I mean, if it can be expressed using a chat window, go with chat window. Else, you are always free to unmute yourself, guys. Okay, you can unmute yourself, interact with me. I'm not gonna stop you, but I request you to do it only if you can't do it via chat window in the interest of recording. Okay, so one of the participant is having issue with my voice. What about others? Is my voice clear, or is it is there any disturbance in my voice? Okay, so Jyoti, you might have to check with your internet connection. I think it's clear for others. Okay, and the third rule, I'm gonna start session by 8:05 a.m. IST, guys. I mean, today is an exception. Maybe couple of days there will be exception. The reason being this will be the first few sessions, right? You know, people keep coming in and then people keep leaving. So first couple of days there will be disturbances. But you know, from Thursday onwards, I'll be starting session by 8:05 a.m. IST. Okay, so please try to be there by 8:05 a.m. IST. And then if you missed first few sessions, right? I mean, first few minutes of the session, please go through the recording. Recording would be available to you. Okay, probably once you have completed the formalities with Career IT folks, they will be providing you with a drive link where they will be uploading all the artifacts I'll be showing you during the session. Okay, now like I said, try to make session lively, guys. So don't make me feel like I'm talking to the computer. Okay, so that's a humble request from my end. Okay, please try to make the session interactive, and nobody here is to judge. Sometimes even I might not be knowing answers for your questions. Okay, so I'm happy to say that I don't know, but I'll go back and come back with an answer. Okay, so you don't need to feel inferior, or you don't need to feel you don't need to shy away basically from interacting. That's okay, though you are giving wrong answers or though you are giving right answers, that doesn't matter. The only purpose of me asking questions is to make you interactive. Let's try to make this session as lively as possible. Okay, let's try to create that environment right from the first session, right? And then in my sessions, you are allowed to use internet. Like I said, you know, the motive of mine asking questions to you is to make you interactive. Okay, so if you feel like you wanna Google it, please feel free, Google it and paste the answer here in the chat window. I'm totally fine with it. Okay, now let me introduce myself. Do you want short introduction or long introduction, guys? So my introduction, you want me to make it short or long?
As your wish
Okay, so
to hear
let me introduce
your
myself
experience and all.
for the folks who didn't join the demo session. My name is Suresh, guys, and I have 10 plus years of experience in the IT industry. Right from the day one of my career, I have been working as a data engineer. Okay, so I have taken up multiple roles working with data engineer to data analyst. To sometimes I have worked on ML related projects as well, machine learning related projects. So, no, this has
Your
been the,
voice is breaking, Suresh. Your voice is breaking, not clear.
is it for everyone now?
For me, no, it's clear.
Okay. So, like I said, I have been, Channel, can you please go on mute? Okay, thank you. Yeah, so, you know, like I said, I have taken up multiple roles. So I will be able to guide you in other streams of data as well, like, you know, data engineering and data science as well, if you are really interested in the future, right? And, you know, talking about my training experience, I have been into training from 2016, guys. Earlier, I worked for a training company called Collaborate Act. Now it is called as Cognitia. I left that organization. Then, I worked with Digital Link and with Career IT, and then I worked with a couple of other organizations as well. Might not be known to you. It their Hyderabad local institutes. Okay. During this 6 years of training experience, right, I have trained folks on data engineering. Back then, it was called as Hadoop developer course, Spark developer course. Now we are calling the same as data engineering, right? And then I teach Python and I also teach Power BI. Okay, so Power BI comes under data analyst course, right? And I have got a chance to work with multiple domains as well. I work with automobile domain, and then I work with manufacturing, retail, and a couple of years I worked for Google also as a contractor from Deloitte. So there we were predominantly dealing with digital marketing data of Google. Okay, so during our conversations, I will be walking you through the projects I have worked on, so that it would give you some sense of how the real-time projects would look like when it comes to data, right? So this is a brief introduction about me, and then like I said, you'll keep hearing to my projects when as our course progresses, right? Now I want you to introduce yourself. Like I said, you know this is how I want you to introduce your name, followed by your current technology, followed by your experience in that technology. If you are a fresher, it's going to be name and then fresher. Okay, this looks something like this: Suresh, data engineer, and then my experience is 8 plus, something like this. Okay, you can use your chat window, guys. Hi, Jyoti. Hi, Tyagarajalu, accountant of experience of 7 plus years. So you must be familiar with Excel. I mean, you must be a pro in Excel. What about others? Hi, Shanti. Okay, hi, Shanti, fresher. And then hi, Sushma. Hi, Lalita. So we almost have 3 to 4 freshers and then one experienced. Okay, cool. So let's get started, guys. Before we start, one more question. So why you have chosen this particular course? So your answers could be multiple, but I just want to see what is your motive behind taking this course. It could be a job switch, or somebody have suggested you, or you did your own analysis, or this is one area where no coding is required. Okay, so there could be your own reasons, right? So just want to know. So why you have opted for Power BI course? Hi, Rahana. This is one area doesn't have coding. Perfect. What about others? Your friend suggested me to do this. Okay, perfect. Okay, so again, another friend reference, Jyoti. Cool. So let me give you some introduction today, and I'll walk you through the course content as well, so that you will get an holistic idea of what you are going to learn next. Okay, Rahana creates small dashboards, pivots in Excel. Okay, so you want to explore data visualization tool. Perfect. So how many of you are interested in data, guys? I mean, playing around with data. Tyagarajalu one, Rahana myself two. Okay, so let me explain a few things, guys. Okay, good to see a lot of people, a lot of you are interested to play around with the data. So you just don't want to join a job by using this course. Instead, you want to learn something about data. I mean, that's really pleasing to hear. Okay, so after few sessions in every batch, I keep hearing this question. Suresh, you have 8+ years of experience, and what really motivates you to do your job every single day? Okay, so for me, I have a deep passion for data. So when I joined this field, I don't have, I don't have any interest in IT, guys. Let me be very frank, right? So I'm not interested in coding. I'm not interested in these things. In fact, for me, uh, the definition of interest is different. If you are good at something, you will be really interested in doing that. Okay, if you are not really good at something, you just tell that I'm not interested. Say for example, a lot of my friends tell I don't like mathematics, or I'm not interested in mathematics, just because they don't know how to do a lot of things in mathematics. Talking about me, I love mathematics. The reason being, things really work out for me in mathematics. Same thing with games as well. I don't like playing cricket just because I don't know how to play it. Okay, so interest would come whenever you start doing things in that particular area, right? And then results start appearing. Okay, so that's how my IT career started. I was pushed into IT career. Back then I was happily preparing for bank exams. Okay, and then suddenly, I got into this data role as a fresher in TCS. So I was given some training, and then the kind of projects I have worked, right? I'll give you a couple of examples. So how many of you have heard this term called OBD? OBD. Okay. So whatever I'm gonna talk now will have a lot of correlation with the course we are going to start, guys. OBD meaning is onboard diagnostics, onboard diagnostic data. So these days cars are, way modern, right? They keep telling you a lot of things. How many of you are from India, joined from India? Okay, we have one, two, 3, 4. Excellent. So a lot of people are from India. Okay, so these days cars are coming with these connected apps. Okay, if you talk about Tata, they have an app called Connect Next. Okay, so all the high-end cars, be it Altroz or Nexon or whatever, they come up with this app called Connect Next. Connect Next. Forget about Tata. You need not really own a car, but you should be familiar with Zoom Car, right? Most of you might have heard about Zoom Car. Uh, who rents you a car on daily basis or monthly basis? Okay, so generally this onboard diagnostic data is nothing but the data that is generated by your engine, by the engine. Okay, so engine have some sensors. So onboard diagnostic data includes features like the current temperature of the engine and the acceleration at which you are moving on, and then how quickly you are decelerating. So there are a lot of things that would be generated from your engine. Okay, and engines have sensors which would send that data, right? And then how you utilize that data depends on your use cases. So for example, we classified, this is my first project, we classified data into or events into three types. One is braking event, I would say hard braking. Okay, and the second one is speeding, and the third one is cornering. Okay, so basically these three are the events which really um, I mean, degrade the performance of your engine, hard braking it, or, suddenly you accelerating it from 0 to 100 in like 2 seconds or 3 seconds, and or cornering in the sense, you are going to the corner most on your road. So these are the few things which doesn't, these are not the good parameters of driving. So what we try to do is we will analyze your trips. A trip uh, is defined as the drive from one position to another position or one location to another location. Say for example, I have taken a drive from Gachibowli to Secunderabad railway station. So this is one trip. And from Secunderabad railway station to Kukatpalli, second trip. From Kukatpalli to again Gachibowli, third trip. So on and so forth. So the moment you start your engine till you stop your engine, I consider that as a trip. Okay, so in that trip, based on this onboard diagnostic data, we would be calculating how many hard braking events you have performed, and then how many speeding events you have performed, and how many cornering events you have performed. Then we will evaluate you. We will evaluate you based on these events on a scale of 10. Okay, so anything greater than 9 is considered as a good score. Anything less than 9 is considered as average score till 7 or 6.5. And anything less than that, you have to go to driving classes. Okay, so just because you know how to handle the steering and how to change the gear doesn't make you a driver. Okay, so this concept is now being used in most of the connected apps. This is something which we have done in 2014 for Nissan. Okay, and we have also used the same solution for another client, TD Bank, which is an insurance company. So in US, insurance works in a different way, guys, not like India. Okay, so they would evaluate score of a driver, and next year when they renew their insurance, the insurance pricing would be based on their driver score. Okay, if the driver is classified as a good driver, the insurance premium he will have to pay would be less. If he was categorized as a bad driver, the insurance premium he'll have to pay is more. Okay, so this is something which we have done in 2014 itself. So likewise, we have done a lot of interesting stuff. Say for example, when I was working with Google, the reports we have prepared were presented by Sundar Pichai in the Google Next event. So that's the kind of pride we carry working with data. Okay, and then if you know how to churn with the data, you know how to do business too. Lot of interesting things will come up when you try to mine your data. So data is gold, guys. I mean, as much as you will keep getting gold as much as you dig. Okay, so you just need to know how to dig it. right? So this is one reason, I wake up with a lot of enthusiasm, get into work and do something new every single day, right? Now let's talk about data roles. So first try to understand the business ecosystem ways. You talk about any business, it could be a retail business or it could be a healthcare business, okay, or it could be an insurance business. They're all different domains, okay, or you could be in a manufacturing, or you could be in a banking domain. So these days people are also considering digital marketing as a separate domain. So let me add that as well, digital marketing. Okay, so let's say you belongs to any of these domains, right? So you take any business, it would fall into one of these categories. Another one is technology, tech companies like TCS, Infosys, Cognizant. Okay, they all comes under tech companies. So you take any organization, they would be falling into one of the other categories. Maybe I missed one or two domains here, but yes, you take any company, they will fall into this. For example, United Health Group fall into healthcare, Amazon fall into retail, Flipkart fall into retail, Walmart fall into retail, and then TD Bank fall into insurance. HDFC comes under both insurance and manufacturing, sorry, insurance and retail. Voltas comes under manufacturing. Okay, sometimes automobile would also be part of this manufacturing. So Tata Motors comes under manufacturing. So digital marketing is applicable to a lot of them. TCS, Infosys, Cognizant, Accenture, Deloitte, they all comes under this tech companies. Okay, now for all these companies, you have couple of teams. One is technology team, and the second one is business team. Okay, so this team is the core team for any organization. This team is the core team for any organization. So here usually you will find folks from MBA, or you will find folks who label themselves as domain experts. Say for example, I have been working in banking sector for almost 10 years, 15 years. So I will be considered as a domain expert for banking industry. Okay, and then we have all the C-level folks over here, okay, who drive things, and then we have technology. So this technology teams can be in-house, or it can be, they can also get folks from consulting. Okay, so these are the guys who would maintain the website, or who would maintain the business related software, so on and so forth. Okay, now this is the area where our data team would also comes into data team. So especially this data team will have data engineers, then we have data scientists, and we also have data analysts. Okay, so maybe I don't want to put this data analyst over here. So data analyst would come in between this business and technology. Data analyst and sometimes data scientist as well. Data analyst and data scientist. So these are the guys, generally they occupy a place in between business and technology. Sometimes the same is referred to as BT team as well, business technology teams. Okay, in business technology teams, mostly, the data folks would be present. Okay, now let me explain what are the responsibilities of these data guys. Okay, now let's say I'm a CEO of a company. I'm the CEO of a company, and then I have come up with a strategy. Let's talk about our training business. Okay, maybe I want to launch a couple of courses in my training institute. Let's say I'm running a training institute. It's a global training institute where students from different countries would come and join my courses. Okay, now I would be in two minds whether to start this course or not start this course. if I start, what would be the reception and how would my business will be impacted, will I be successful? So there will be a lot of Q&A to be answered. Okay, I cannot just go and start a course blindly. Okay, so that is when I'll be calling my analysts. I will be calling my analysts. So basically, these analysts are the guys who should be having a good domain expertise. Okay, so for example, I'll be calling my career IT folks, especially who are into the business and who are looking into the data. And then I will ask them, guys, I am planning to start some XYZ course. So I want to see how the reception of students will be there. Okay. Now these guys will go back because these guys doesn't really know uh, how to get the data or modulate the data or how things might work. Okay. So these guys will go back to the data engineers. These guys will go back to the data engineers and they will tell them, do we have any leads information in our database? Okay, if we have any leads information, so just go and talk to those leads and see how many of them are interested to join this course. When I say talk to them, they'll start their campaigning. That's when the digital marketing comes into picture. Okay, so data engineers wouldn't do that, but data engineers would fetch the data that is required for your sales folks or marketing folks to start this activity. Okay, so these data engineers would go and get the data from the existing database, or it might not be directly available, but directly or indirectly, these guys will do their job and try to get some leads, and they will be providing that leads to the marketing folks. These marketing folks will start running campaigns. Okay, when they talk about campaigns, they might start with a simple email campaign where they'll be sending emails to all the leads they have, and then maybe if they think a few important leads are there, they'll be calling them directly to check their interest, and maybe they'll be sending messages with a form link asking students to fill that interest form. Okay, so there are multiple ways of doing this, and then maybe they will also conduct a couple of seminars or couple of demos or workshops to attract the folks, right? So these are the guys who would be looking into marketing. And now this data analyst, right, will have to provide all this information to me, CEO, okay, for me to take the final call whether this is going to be succeed or not. And I wanted to know different parameters. When I say different parameters, how many emails have been sent, and how many folks have reverted to those emails, how many forms were filled, okay, and then how many in how many forms students have showed interest to join this session. Okay, and maybe price analysis. What is the expected price? What is the average market price for this particular course? And how much we'll have to quote in order to get the competitive numbers? So these are the various parameters which I wanted to know. Okay, now this information, I will not be directly telling any data analyst guys. Data analyst will be knowing by himself. He knows what information would be interesting, or in what information I would be interested in. Okay, so this data analyst try to gather that data from data engineers or the marketing folks, and then he will present it to me. The question is how. The question is how. So when I say how, he can present these numbers in an Excel sheet, or he can present these numbers on a document. But will I be interested? Definitely no. Okay, so that is when our dashboards or reports would come into picture. So he would visualize all these numbers on a Power BI report or a Tableau report or a ClickView report or MicroStrategy. We have a lot of visualization tools, guys. Okay, maybe in the form of bar charts, or maybe in the form of pie charts, or maybe a pivot table, or maybe just a table, or maybe geospatial graph. Okay, so what not, I mean, for showing a particular metric, whatever he feels would be good, he would be presenting it. Okay, he would be presenting it to me. So there, just by looking at that presentation, I will get to understand what is what. Okay, let's say 70% of the, for 70% of the mails we have sent, we got responses. And then maybe I have sent forms to some 10,000 folks, out of which 300 to 350 students have responded positively for this new course. And then maybe the market price comparison. So maybe in Edureka they are charging 16,000, and then maybe in IntelliPad they are charging 18,000, and then in Collabora they are charging some 14,000. So now it's our call how much we'll have to charge them. So a lot of these type of parameters would be portrayed in pictures. Okay, so I would always call that as storytelling. It's a beautiful storytelling. Okay, so that is where the data analyst would come into picture, guys. That is the reason data analyst and also data scientist sometimes, should have good knowledge on domain in which they are working on. So for example, they are working for banking companies, they should have some good knowledge on banking domain. So that is when they will be understanding what metrics to be shown to make the presentation interesting, or to make the C-level folks excited. Okay, so this guy plays a vital role. Obviously he would be receiving good packages as well. The reason being, he would be directly reporting to the business. He is not a technology team, and he will not have a big hierarchy. Okay, and these data analysts roles are more predominant in business companies than consulting companies, domain companies than consulting companies. In TCS, Infosys, your job would be regular and boring. But if you join United Health Group or HDFC or Franklin Templeton, your role would be really exciting. Okay, where you will be dealing with the data, understanding the business, and then creating this kind of exciting reports, showing it to the respective stakeholders. Your job would be really, really exciting. Okay, let me take a pause here. Are we good with the roles of the folks and where this data analyst would come into picture? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, so there are multiple names, guys. There are multiple nomenclature. You call the same work as reporting, or you call the same work as business intelligence. Okay, you call the same work as data analysis. Okay, or visualization. So there are a lot of names with which this particular role is being called. But the current name is the current name given to this particular job is data analyst. And the typical skill set of a data analyst would be SQL. At least data analyst would be knowing basic SQL. Okay, for complex SQL, any day he can depend on data engineer. He can ask data engineer to provide what data he needs. Boss, this is what I need. You go and get the data. So he'll always have that thing. But he should be good with basic SQL so that he can pull data by himself. Okay, and then reporting tools. Reporting tools. Reporting tools. When I say reporting tools, few examples or few most used tools in the industry: Tableau, MicroStrategy, and then ClickView, and then we have Google's Visual Studio, in addition to Power BI. Okay, so these are the few reporting tools which are most used in the industry right now, guys. Okay, so for you to be called as a data analyst, you should be learning one of the other tools of this, and SQL. So that is what I'm going to teach. The first few days, I'm going to teach you SQL. So you will be getting some good hands-on with SQL. Then I'm going to start Power BI. I'm going to teach you Power BI for next few weeks. Okay, so to make you comfortable with the visualization tool as well. Right, now let me walk you through our course content. Okay, so just a simple thing, guys. By the end of this course, you will be able to clear this certification. Okay, mark my word. by the end of this course, you will be in a position to clear this certification, Microsoft Certified Power BI Data Analyst Associate. Okay, and then we will start with what exactly data analysis is. I'm going to introduce data analysis, roles in data, who is a data analyst, understanding the term business intelligence, which we have already covered, but I'll give you formal definitions. Okay, and then module 2 is all about introduction to RDBMS and SQL. So we'll talk about what exactly an RDBMS tool is, and then I'll not be deep diving into RDBMS tool, but at least I'll try to explain a few key concepts of RDBMS, which I'll be starting from tomorrow. So don't worry, though you are a fresher, you will be taken care of. And then we'll talk about MySQL and then Postgres. Sorry, we will be using either MySQL or Postgres. Okay, most probably we'll be using Postgres. Then I'll be introducing SQL to you. So SQL, we have multiple categories like DDL, DML, DCL, and DQL. I'll be explaining what they are exactly. And then I'm gonna show you how to query your data. And then we'll try to do a simple use case to do some analysis on retail data. And module 3, this is the module our hero enters, Power BI. So I'm gonna show you what exactly Power BI is, how to install Power BI, what are the different components we have in Power BI, and then the benefits of using Power BI, so on and so forth. Then module 4 is all about how you prepare your data for analysis. And then module 5, how to model your data. I'm going to talk about data modeling as well, which would especially help you in creating DAX. Okay, so again, the model used would be predominantly Snowflake schema, sorry, star schema. We call that as dimensional model. So don't worry about that. I'm gonna walk you through that, what a dimensional model is, what are facts, what are dimensions, and then how do we create the data model for a star schema, and then how would it optimize the performance of our dashboard, so on and so forth. Okay, and then we'll be talking about visuals, like how to add bookmarks and how to add buttons to your Power BI report, and how to do these selections. How do you navigate from one report to other report, right? And then what is a dashboard? What is the difference between dashboard and a report? What are the different types of reports we have, like paginated reports, right? We will be talking about all those things, and I'll also show you how you can run a simple Python code or R code or a SQL script from Power BI to extract the data. I'm going to show you that as well. Okay, and some data analysis features in Power BI will also be covered. I'm going to show you how to create the statistical summary, or how you can identify outliers, what exactly are outliers, or how to group your data, or how to create time series, right? And how to use the quick insights feature. What exactly is that quick insights feature? So all these things would be covered in this module 7. Okay, like you will get very good knowledge on whatever that will be covered, guys. And like I said, our end goal is to crack this certification. Exam code is PL300, and the exam name is Microsoft Power BI Data Analyst Associate. Okay, so I would encourage every one of you to attend sessions regularly, and then by the end of this course, I would also encourage you guys to take up this certification. So whatever you are paying to Career IT wouldn't include the certification cost. It won't include the certification cost. You will have to pay from your pockets to get certified. Okay, but I will show you a foolproof method to clear this certification. Okay, so we will be talking about few certification questions in the last couple of sessions. Okay, so I have already cleared this certification, so I'm gonna walk you through what topics you need to prepare, what questions you can expect. So a lot of things like such. Okay, so I'm 100% confident you'll be able to clear the certification, provided if you follow my instructions. Okay, so that's the end goal. And for all these things to happen, we would need at least 6 weeks, guys. Okay, so your course duration, you can mark it as 5 to 6 weeks. Okay, so 5 weeks is maximum, 5 weeks is minimum, 6 weeks is maximum. So I'm adding that luxury of 5 days, so that maybe someday one of our students might have a lot of questions, or maybe you want me to give more examples. Those are the days where we will have the extended discussions. Okay, so I always keep that luxury of 6th week. Okay, so minimum 5 weeks and maximum 6 weeks, guys. We should be able to finish it comfortably. Okay, maybe you give yourself couple of weeks, 7th week and 8th week. By the end of 8th week, plan for the certification, update your resume, and then start looking for jobs in Microsoft Power BI. That's the path. Are we good? Yes, no, maybe. And in your certification, module 1 is not important. Module 1 and 2 are not important. You will not be asked any questions on module 1 and module 2. Okay, but you shouldn't take them light, because when you attend interviews, they will be asking questions on module 2 and module 1. Okay, so I'm really excited, guys. Are you? And like I said, it's my responsibility to make you clear certifications. Okay, that is on me. Don't worry about that. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Are you? Are you also excited? Perfect. Then we'll start RDBMS from tomorrow, and I'll be waiting for your questions if you have any, especially for the folks who joined just today. Any questions? Okay, I'll take that as no, because you might be knowing all the details about this course by now. Okay, like I said, we will be starting RDBMS from tomorrow. And then first 1 week, we will be talking only about SQL. And from the second week, I'll be introducing our hero to you, Power BI. Okay, cool then. That's all I have, guys. See you tomorrow. Till then, have a great day for the folks joining from India, and good night for the folks joining from US. I think everyone are joining from India. Okay, see you tomorrow, same time, and we'll get into the technical topics.